The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. They can never let Africa be. And now they are doing it very open to the point that we ourselves are seeing it. And I wonder why these people can never change their approach, because this is information age. This is not like gone are the days when they control the narrative and everything they say is final. After chasing Captain Ibrahim Traore are all in all, the savior, the protector, the unifier, the messiah, the king of kings, the most loud, with Human Rights Watch, they are now in Mali on our all in all, the savior, the protector, the unifier, the messiah, the king of kings, the most loud, General Assimi Goïta, claiming that General Assimi Goïta is using their military to patrol the villages of Mauritania, making it look as if our all in all is trying to have a problem with the people in Mauritania. And we asked them, can we find villages of France in Italy, in Germany, or in any part of Europe? If it is not possible, how then is it possible to have these villages of Mauritania in Mali? How can Mali be patrolling the villages to make sure that the people are secured because of these insurgencies, and these people still use their media platforms to be spreading this propaganda against our leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso? If you are new here, this is the latest Dodging One, a Pan-African channel where we educate ourselves. We make sure that we unite to liberate the continent.
Africa that are freeing themselves. The French media just won't stop. There are some expressions we often hear that are a bit outdated. On the front page of several French media outlets, it says that the Malian army has been patrolling since April the 11th in Mauritanian villages located on Malian territory. I said, but that too is a strange way of putting it. So, there are German villages located on French territory, where there are fully French villages that obey French authorities, but are located on German territory. If that's not possible in your country, why would it be the case in ours? And these media say that these Mauritanians recognize only Mauritanian authorities, but they are Mauritanians who are on Malian territory. A way of saying that part of Malian territory is occupied by some Mauritanians. That's a way of saying it. And, moreover, they referred to that statement from Mauritania which says that these are indeed territories belonging to villages belonging to the Republic of Mali. I say, but do you see what that so-called democracy made us lose? That is, some of our villages, a good part of our territory was abandoned. The same thing. Algeria thinks that areas like Kidal, Tinzawatan must return to Algerian control. It was an abandonment. Nothing more, nothing less, because in their so-called story of democracy, we ended up with leaders who had weak power. They were very weakened. In fact, the former president of Mali said it. They were so weak that when they wanted to make certain decisions, the government could be overthrown at any moment. That's the fall of the regime. What are they doing? Maybe they preferred their presidential armchair. We kind of found ourselves in that situation. So that a Mauritanian governor, even seeing himself perhaps administering that part, threatens to invade Mali. He says they'll come all the way to Bamako if necessary. We say to Bamara, there is no love for me. I don't want you to send me. I don't want you to send me. I don't want you to send me. Meaning what? If you manage to put pants on an elephant, if you succeed in that feat, you've done something heroic, something grandiose. But if you fail, you've just been talkative. Yeah, just a chatterbox. You haven't done anything. And when they say they'll come to Bamako, they come. That's a feat. But if they don't come, they'll make fools of themselves. And him, when I see him, that famous governor, his body, I don't know what has filming down there. He doesn't dry off, or what is it? But has filming it. I don't know. I kind of picture his bulk. He looks like Donald Trump in miniature. If has Trump in miniature. It's what Trump did in Iran. No. He says it, then takes it back. He talks, then contradicts himself. We're not done with Trump. Well, open the Strait of Hormuz. We won't open it anymore. We don't really care. Peace, we gave an ultimatum. We're going to do this. Well, crush the Iranians in 24 hours. More than 30 days later. The Iranians are still there. It's all just hot air. Coming to Mali. Me. I simply blame some of our politicians who have governed this country. They left entire swaths of Malian territory occupied by the Mauritanians. My proposal is very simple. These people should be expelled. Because, what's absurd? Look closely. Come on, I don't know. Click somewhere on the internet Mauritania. And you'll see what the current news is. Mauritania admits that the Malian army is patrolling Mauritanian villages that are located on Malian territory. And these Mauritanian villages, what's even more serious, only recognize the Mauritanian authorities. And it's these villages that supposedly called the Mauritanian authorities to tell them, hey, the Malian army has just carried out an incursion on Mauritanian soil. That's when their authorities replied, no, that this is indeed Malian territory. So we have a state within a state. That's what this would mean. We had to wait for His Excellency, General Assimi Goïta, to come to power, to clear things like this up. And, since we started securing the length of the border, with Mauritania little by little, the terrorists are losing strength. Those terrorists are getting a bit overwhelmed. And we will continue. How can you be on Malian territory and answer to the Mauritanian authorities? No, it's to the Malian authorities that you must answer. Even in the land of Ghazouani's masters, the Europeans, what happens over there? Even if there are millions of Africans over there, it's not your authorities here who will be giving you orders there. You submit to their rules, to their laws over there, even in their whole Woobies affair. You comply because it's their country. How can you be on Malian territory and say you're going to follow their laws instead? The laws of Mauritania. It is inadmissible. It is an insult. And France, which said to itself, as they are manipulators, these people. These barbarians are manipulators, defenders, there it is. These states that call themselves defenders of international rights, human rights, the state of rights, and the state of rights for you. It means that another state can have this citizen in another. If such is the case, you are in the process of strengthening several theses that you try to fight, left and right. When it comes to Mali, it is necessary to support everything necessary, and the French media, to the rescue of the Mauritanian media. But the governor of Mauritania, who, according to him, came all the way to Bamako. I said, with what? You have something other than your army, you have devils that accompany you. Otherwise, in terms of numbers, it is not 3 times. We exceed you by more than 4 times. In terms of numbers simply. Then, in terms of equipment, you do not measure up. What is there in terms of armored vehicles? In terms of other equipment still? What is there in terms of special forces? What is there in terms of aerial vectors? But it is the French interference and the Algerian interference that are behind. Mauritania. If we send you, we must know how to send you. You saw the Gulf monarchy in Syria. No, from Iran. Continue to play these fuzzy games. Continue, do not stop. This governor, I'm going to tell him one thing. I will try to explain easily. If he dares to come. Mauritania is led by a minority that represses a large majority, even if, within this large majority, some black people are those whom Captain Thomas Sankara said, the slave who is not capable of assuming his revolt does not deserve for anyone to pity his fate. If there are some among them who are resigned to their situation, willingly accept being slaves of this or that. But there are still many of these Mauritanian blacks who do not want it.
These people can never let us be. They will continue to be chasing after our leaders who are doing everything possible to unite us. Why is it that they were never vocal when it came to Ghana assisting in the strike that happened in Nigeria on the 25th of December 2025? Even though the people in Ghana were not happy when the thing came out, did you hear them say anything concerning that? But whenever it is Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, they are always quick in fabricating issues or things that are not even in connection with what is happening. Why? Because those in the democratic elected are leaders who are there serving their interests. Democracy has been a problem of the African, even though some of us don't believe in this system because of how we were brainwashed into believing it. And that is the reason to which people will still believe and bow down to Donald Trump after he has even created an AI image of himself being Jesus Christ and he is healing people. The brainwashing of the African is the problem. And the reason to which we are finding it so difficult to emancipate ourselves is because even the African himself is not willing to emancipate himself because we are still so much in belief of whatever the colonizer left for us. How can they be sitting down fabricating things concerning Mali? Why is it their headache? Why won't they concentrate on the things that are happening in France? Like, for instance, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen came out telling the whole world how they are in pain. They are bleeding because of the war between Iran and the United States of America. Why not concentrate on the things that are affecting them? Ever since our leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso kicked these people out, things have become so difficult for them. The uranium that they used to get so cheaply isn't coming anymore. They don't have the upper hand over the situation. Again, things are becoming so difficult, and that is the reason to which now they are moving away from their francophone colonies into the anglophone countries to make sure that they stay relevant. As Africans, we need to understand that we are the only people that can change the narrative. These people have kept in systems. They are never there for our interests. If something is happening between France and Germany, we don't see Africans talking about it. But whatever that is not even happening in Africa, these people always make sure they find means and ways to talk about it in order for us to continue to be seeing ourselves not to be one people. The disunity is all that they are after. Anytime they sit to say that African leaders or African countries are uniting, like what we are seeing in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso for the first time, we have African countries in our time uniting to make sure they fight together for the total liberation of the continent. You see these people rising against such leaders. Everybody must be for their interests. Like what they said, that Mohamed Bazoum needs to come back because he is their partner and he is the one that is doing their bid and carrying their interests at heart. Not because Mohamed Bazoum is doing the things that the people in Niger want, but because he does the things that Europe wants. So for that matter, he needs to be brought back to office. And this is a problem that Africans haven't seen concerning these people. We believe so much in every statement that they put across because we believe that these people are here to set us free. Set us free in which way? Other than setting themselves free, other than solving their problems. France, for instance, according to reports, every 30 seconds, their debt increases by $3,000. So how can such a person with nothing that is also struggling with their economy come into the continent to provide you with security and to make sure that they change the narrative? How can you that these people are depending on for uranium, for gold, for diamond, for silver, and for everything that they need to empower everything that they have, be the one to now turn back and say they are here to help you? And the leaders in Africa are making it so, and the youth are also growing, believing less in the power of the African. These people are never here for our interests. They don't ever want to see us coming together. So even if there's no problem, they must make sure that they create a problem. This is for them to spark something between Mauritania and Mali, just to make sure that these people start fighting among themselves. Whenever you see these people putting out statements, it's not because they are doing it for you and I, but because they have their own interests at heart and they want to make sure they carry their interests. Africans must never unite. This is their slogan. So they will do everything possible to make sure that we continue to be fighting among ourselves, so that when there is no peace and unity among us, that is when they can come into the continent to continue to have access. It has always been divide and conquer, and democracy that they've given to us is a tool that they are using to make sure that they succeed in everything that they do. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. In Africa, West Africa, in Mali.